All right, good evening, everybody. It is right at 5:30, so we are going to get started. Tonight is not a great night outside, so we're glad you weathered the storm and came on in. There's two things that I think ensure that your child does well in school, and that is parent involvement. And parent involvement may look a little different at the high school, but the fact that you're here tonight shows that you are involved. And the other one is your child being at school, their attendance. But anyway, my name is Shannon Solomon, and I'm the principal. We have quite a team here, a great team that's going to be surrounding your student. So I want to introduce them. We have 3 school counselors here tonight. We actually have a 4th. She is our senior counselor. She is not here, Jill Boone. But we have Jennifer Burnham, Dr. Lori Beth Wilson, Jennifer Jackson. We have 3 principals here other than myself. We have Evan Merrick, Leah Beth, and Brian Harper, who is the principal of the Tech Center. We also have some of our teachers here, and I'll introduce them in just a few minutes. But this is their last stop. It will fly by. I've had 4 kids. They're all out of college now, and high school was like the blink of an eye. And it is their last stop before adulthood, whether that means college or career. So the choices that they make in high school are really important and do impact. Grades are always important, all the way through K, through high school. But in high school, your grades are very, very important. You have to have so many credits to graduate. And if you don't pass a class, you don't earn that credit. So you're backtracking and digging yourself out of a hole. So ensuring that you maintain great grades. Also, attendance in high school is very important. If you have 6 or more unexcused absences, there's so many things that you can't participate in. And we want you to be a part. Because there's so many opportunities here, clubs, sports, and we want you to participate in those. That's another thing that shows high student achievement. If your child is plugged in to an organization and participating in extracurricular activities, their success is going to go up. One of the great things I want to talk about is the freshman focus. You're wondering, what is my freshman going to look like, their year going to look like next year? They are going to have 4 core classes. They're going to have English, math, science, and social studies all year long. They're also going to have a freshman seminar class and their PE credit. They have to have a PE and health credit in order to graduate from high school. So we're going to get that out of the way their freshman year. So I do want to introduce you to those freshman focus teachers. And when I call your name, teachers, because they're spread out all over the place, not all of them are here tonight, but most of them are here tonight. Raise your hand and stand up, and that way they can put eyes on you and know that you will be one of their teachers next year, possibly. We have Andrew Johnston teaching English. He's back up here. We have Laura Conder. She may not be here this evening. We have Megan Routh teaching math. We have Emma Rogers also teaching math. We have BJ Hayden, who is teaching science. We have Larissa Hobbs, who is also teaching science. We have Jonathan Hart teaching social studies. We have Mr. Shelton teaching social studies. And our health and PE teachers are Randy Jackson and Jason Fight. That's your group of teachers that they will have for their core and their seminar class. So again, we are on block scheduling. However, our freshmen will have all year long their 4 cores, their seminar class, and their health and PE class. So we're excited about that because we think that will be a great transition from middle school to high school with this group of teachers around them supporting them. And also Dr. Wilson, she is our freshman guidance counselor, so they will get to know her very well. We met your kids today. We had great tours. We put them in very small groups, so they got to tour the whole high school, meet all of us, and meet some of the students that were here. We will also be back with them on Thursday. We're each going to the middle schools, and we'll work one-on-one with your child sitting down to work on their schedule. So when they leave us on Thursday, they'll have an idea of what their schedule, they will have their schedule for their freshman year. So you all, we're going to talk to you about that, and you can have those conversations with your child between now and Thursday. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Beth. She's going to explain something we're going to add next year to our freshman focus, the seminar class.
All right, one question that we've had from a lot of the students is, what is freshman seminar? They asked their tour guides today, and a lot of their tour guides couldn't give them a lot of information because it's brand new next year. So there are a lot of skills that we have seen within our high school students that they are deficit in, and there's not a good time or place to address some of those things. So next year, we are going to implement a freshman seminar class that all freshmen will be mandatory that they take. It will start out with study skills. It will go over financial literacy. It will go over digital literacy and being safe on the internet. It will go over a lot of the other little requirements that pop out throughout the year that we don't really have a time or place to really address those things. We're going to really work with them on their 4-year plan for when they are in high school. We have a lot of kids that their senior year say, I would love the opportunity to co-op, for instance. But their schedule, because of different things where they didn't plan that out ahead of time, they get to their senior year and they're not eligible to do that. So we're really going to start working with your freshmen on what they want to do after they leave Marshall County High School, whether they're going to college and they want to take dual credit classes, whether they know they want to take AP classes, whether they want to go straight into the workforce, whether they want to go into the union. And that freshman seminar class will allow those teachers that time and opportunity to get to know your student and to plan out the time that they are going to be here with us. One other thing that I want to reference is the green piece of paper that's in your folders. All your students got to see this today when they were here, but this is a really good information sheet for them to get involved in other things besides just their academics while they're here. So it has all of our athletics. Some of those are going to be new and different than your middle school athletics. It also lists who's in charge of those and their email address. Not all of them are necessarily school employees, so if you'll notice that in their email address. It also lists all of our clubs and organizations. Like Ms. Solomon said, we strongly encourage students to be involved in a sport or a club or an organization, and we do offer a lot of different things. Every Friday within the schedule this year, could be different next year, but we have once a week a club day that's a designated time during the school day where these clubs and organizations will meet. So we strongly encourage everybody to be part of one of those, to get to know other kids and to do things that they find fun and interesting. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Merrick to talk about credits and grades.
All right, I had a chance to talk to your kids this morning, earlier today about all of this, and of course you're getting a lot of information. All right, it's all good information, but as a freshman, there's opportunity, okay? And we're sharing with that, whether it's extracurriculars, clubs, or elective programs, but it's all centered around grades and credits, okay? In high school, we offer 32 credit opportunities for you guys over the course of 4 years, okay? So like Ms. Solomon said, you're going to have some classes that you're going to pick next year, all right? 4 of those are your core classes. Then you're going to have your health and PE class and then the freshman seminar class. So what you need to be thinking about, Mr. Harper will explain here in a little bit, is the elective classes that you want to take, okay? We got a lot of offerings from the CTE career pathways. We offer our foreign languages. There's many different opportunities there. But what you have to know is the classes you have to graduate. And that clock starts when you come here your freshman year in the fall, okay? So you'll have 8 classes you'll take as freshmen, all right? And great thing about it as freshmen, I said it to your students this morning when you got here, you walk in the door with a 4.0. It's your job to keep it going from that point forward, okay? So we want you to stay on track to graduate. We want you to pass those classes and move forward because it does a lot of good things for you as far as keys money, okay? We'll have seniors that graduate here in May that'll have $2,000 each year they can spend on a school in state, okay? It's going to work for you, all right? Also, the scholarship and grant opportunities that are centered around that. And that may seem like a long way away, all right, but like Ms. Solomon said, it's going to be going through pretty quick, all right? So think about when we come to your schools on Thursday, talk to your parents, think about what kind of elective classes you want to take. Okay, our core classes, there's 2 different opportunities you can take too. You can go the honors route that puts you on path to be an honor graduate. It's a little bit more accelerated. Then there's the standard route. Okay, standard route still produces a diploma. Your GPA factors into that, and you can still do everything you need to do. It's just a choice as a family you guys need to make. Okay, but at the same time, grades, You know, the credits that you make your fall of your freshman year or spring go all the way through to graduation, okay? So we don't want you failing classes, all right, because that gets you behind. That takes away those opportunities to take these CTE courses or elective courses, all right? And I had your students raise their hand if they wanted to drive when they turned 16. I got pretty much everybody in the building to raise their hand, all right? We want to make sure that they get the opportunity to do that when they turn 16. Well, one thing the state of Kentucky asks us to do is monitor their grades, and there's the no pass, no drive. So maintaining a 2.0 is important there. Same way with athletic eligibility and extracurriculars. Okay, so we want to start out on a positive note. Okay, you got all these opportunities in front of you, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Harper right now to kind of share some of those with you guys.
Okay, in your packet, first of all, I'm Brian Harper. I'm the principal at the Tech Center. But in your packet, there is a purple sheet that says Career Pathways. If you'll pull that out first, we'll go over those. In the Career Pathways, there's what's called career clusters or program areas. There are 13 of those. So the example I'm going to give is just the first one that's listed. You'll see where it says agriculture. Under agriculture, we have 3 pathways: horticulture, animal science, and ag power. So those are pathways within a program area. Then there are certain courses that are in a pathway. They're listed in order. There's 4 to be a completer. And so you'll see the course number and then what the name of the course is there. There is a QR code for our curriculum guide that will go in more depth explaining each of those courses. We also have it on the Marshall County Tech web page under Pathways, where you can click on it. It will give you the pathway, the courses, also job outlook, salaries, and just a general knowledge of what that career is. So that is on our website, which is due and just launched last week. You can also follow, we are doing a major renovation at the Tech Center as well, and you can see what's offered. With credits, like Mr. Merrick said, there's the core and then what's called electives. We call them the pathway classes. Those are, there's 10 of those, really 14 if you count 32 opportunities, but 28 credits is what is for graduation. If you'll turn it over to the back page there, on the purple sheet, you see additional electives. There is room in a student schedule to take band, to take the PE that was mentioned earlier, and still complete a pathway. So you will see the additional electives there for fine arts, also there for science, social studies, and physical education, and world language. So there's plenty of room in our master schedule that allows you to get the core and the electives that are required. The other sheet I want to reference is called Work-Based Learning. It is an orange sheet. The students, as they progress through that junior and senior year, they really start thinking, what can I do my senior year? And a lot of times the students will want to co-op or do some type of experience-based work. And it's important for them to know as a freshman what that GPA is. And you can see there the first bullet says they must maintain a 2.0 GPA, and we will have some seniors to get to that point, and that becomes an issue. Also, there are attendance requirements, is less than 6 unexcused absence, must have completed the pathway, which that's what we just mentioned, and then also complete an industry certificate in those pathways, or then meet 2 of the 3 ACT benchmarks. So I know that is 4 years down the road, but it's important for you to understand each year as you progress through. Also, you may try a pathway and just say, I'm not interested in health science. I want to switch to culinary. There's room in their schedule to change once they're here at the high school. So don't feel like you get locked into a pathway and you have to stay there all 4 years. We understand you're just trying to get them to clean up their room and take showers. You know, we're asking you to make decisions about their career. We get that. But to have an idea of where they want to go and then experience something that maybe, well, I just know I don't want to do that. That's money saved to you for whenever they do go to college or to a career. Same thing with the KEYS money. It can be used for college, but also can be used for career. So if you're going to be in the electrical union, that money that they earn with KEYS money can go toward that as well. And that's the main 2 things I have for career pathways and work-based learning.
I'm going to stick on the orange paper, so we're going to talk a little bit about dual credit. And again, as Mr. Harper said, oh my gosh, we're thinking about dual credit junior and senior year, but we want you and your student to start planning. What do you want to do? What do you think you want to do? And we have a ton of opportunities at Marshall County High School for your students in dual credit. One of the things that I think is very unique to this high school is we are able to offer so many dual credits here at this school. So our teachers are credentialed and qualified to teach those classes exactly the same as the college professors are. So once your students want to take the dual credit and they want a teacher face-to-face, they don't have time in their schedule to drive to the campus, we do offer some classes here at the high school for the students to actually be able to take those classes with a college teacher. Essentially, that's exactly what they are. So we have English 101 and 102. We have English 161. Those are with WKCTC. So that's Writing 1, Writing 2, your junior and senior English, and then Arts and Humanities English Literature. We have the ability to teach college algebra with a teacher face-to-face and a teacher from the University of Kentucky. They do that in collaboration. And then we also have History 109, taught like that, which is U.S. history that we have through WKCTC as well. And I feel like I'm missing one. Thank you. Public speaking. I knew I was missing one. I was counting on my fingers going, where is that one? COM 161 with Murray State, it's public speaking, and we have a teacher on staff that teaches that as well. So your students have the opportunity to take a class here at the high school, online, or off campus. And I'll talk a lot more about dual credit as we get a little bit later on in, sophomore year. But one of the main things that we've been able to bring to the high school this year is testing our sophomores, because we do want the students who are going to take a dual credit to have a benchmark score, because that's the ACT national test data says, 75% of the students who score that benchmark will earn an A or a B in a college level class. So we've been able to test the sophomores, and we're going to continue that so that your freshmen don't have to go out and pay for an ACT on their own if they're wanting to take dual credit later on. So a lot of things just to think about, to just kind of put your toe in the water as we start thinking through those types of things. And we want to make sure that your students are ready. Several of our teachers have hinted about the KEYS money. It's on the back of the orange sheet. So if you want to know how much KEYS money that you can actually earn, the best thing is, Mr. Merrick said earlier today to your students, you start high school with a 4.0 GPA, and if you continue with that 4.0 GPA by turning in all of your assignments and earning all A's your freshman year, notice that your student can earn $500. And they can earn $500 each year that they're in high school, up to $2,000. And then let's say they make a 28 or above on their ACT, that's another $500. So essentially your students are paid $10,000 to come to school, and it's up to them if they want to earn $10,000 or not. They can use that money when they go to college, or as Mr. Harper said, even in some types of electrical unions. So there is money to come to school for you and your student, and we also have the opportunity so that students can learn that as well. AP scores get some KEYS money also. So one last thing. I looked at her and she made me think of something else. I'm sorry. Dual credit. The state does have a scholarship program for the dual credit courses. 2 classes, the tuition is paid for, and all you have to pay for are textbooks. So that's a really good opportunity for you and your students to take advantage of. I know we're just planning freshman night, but you do have lots of opportunities here. Now, Ms. Burnham, AP.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Burnham. I work with all students, but I'm assigned to juniors. I'm going to go over the light blue packet, or the light blue paper in your packet. Dr. Wilson just outlined the opportunities that we have with dual credit. Many of our teachers are credentialed and partner with colleges to offer your student a college class at our school. We also have students that take online courses and students that go to campus for courses. We partner with University of Kentucky, WKCTC, and Murray State. So it's an amazing opportunity as your kids get older to take advantage of that. I want to talk to you about advanced placement, also known as AP. It has been around forever and ever and ever. So AP is regulated through the College Board. The College Board is a test prep company. Their college preparatory exam is the SAT, so their competitor is the ACT program, okay? They also have the advanced placement curriculum that our teachers can go through an audit process to be credentialed to teach college courses at our school through the College Board. I just talked to you about the campuses that we partner with for dual credit. Your student is enrolled with us and enrolled at the college. In AP, your student is not enrolled with the college. The College Board is a company. You're taking the course, going to get the credit on your high school transcript, and then students have the opportunity, they don't have to, but they have the opportunity to take an exam in May, and if they pass the exam with a score of a 3, 4, or 5, it's scored 1 through 5, then they are eligible to receive college credit. The College Board is an internationally renowned curriculum and program, and they have transfer policies with every college and university. So when you take that exam, we will be able to tell the student how that exam transfers into the college that they choose. So part of the job that we love is sitting down with students and talking to them about the dual credit courses, the credits they earn, and how that's going to help them in the future. We also do that with AP. We're not a fan of everybody just running the gamut and taking every single AP and dual credit we offer if they don't know how it's going to help them. Because these are college level classes. It's very fast paced, it's very rigorous. Your student is taking the college level curriculum, not the high school curriculum. So we don't like people just to punish themselves or run the gamut just to take it all if they don't know how it's going to help them. So I wanted to talk to you about the differences. And then, of course, tell you how they're the same. When your student's a freshman, they can take AP right away. On the blue sheet, you can see the grade levels that the AP courses are offered. The very first class that freshmen are eligible to take is AP Human Geography. In a second, I'm going to go over the graduation requirements for our school. AP Human Geography will count as the student's 4th social studies elective. Dual credit and AP are the same in the sense that they're college curriculum, fast-paced, rigorous, but also that it gives your student a weighted credit. So you guys are going to talk, or we're going to talk about GPA in a second when I go over the mock transcript in your folder. We're going to talk about GPA. So at the high school, every semester when you earn these credits, you're getting a GPA, a grade point average. A weighted class, AP and dual credit, that A is ranked a 5. If you took all regular classes and made straight A's, you have a 4.0. AP and dual credit give you extra points and put you over the 4.0. So AP and dual credit are the same in that they're both weighted. And the very first class you can take as a freshman is AP Human. I always advise kids and families when they're looking at AP, they really need to love this subject. They really need to be interested in the subject and be passionate about that and know how it's going to help them. That's very difficult when you're talking to freshmen and sophomore students that don't know where they're going to go. They can't tell you, I'm really feeling like I'm going to go to WKU, how's this going to transfer? Because that's going to change 10 times in the course of their high school career and as opportunities arise. So we just do the best that we can to be educated and make educated decisions and show them how those things will transfer. When you take AP, same with dual credit, it may not let you CLEP out of the course that your student is required to take for their major, but it will give them a credit. It could be an elective credit. You have to have those for your degree as well. So I just wanted to make sure that we went over the differences and, of course, how they're the same. AP, I do want to stress the fact that we have a lot of students that are interested in private schools will apply for very competitive scholarships, and AP is looked at more favorably with private schools, Ivy League schools, and some of the very competitive, highly selective schools and scholarships. Not to say that dual credit's not, but that is what we have seen for years and years with AP and with our students when they apply to these things. So I think what I want to do next, in your packet, you have a white scheduling planning worksheet. On the left-hand side, under name, Those are all the courses that we have listed there for you so that you know what our graduation requirements are. So the first four that you see, English 1, English 2, English 3, and English 4, every student, every year, must have an English class to graduate. You're going to see in the course guide and in the materials that we gave you, there are different options for what level of course you choose, but you will take an English every year. For example, freshman year, you're going to choose regular English or honors English, okay? That's going to happen sophomore year, and then junior year, you get to choose the regular English or dual credit or AP English. So you're taking English, but you're going to get to choose the level at which you take it. So 4 Englishes. I'm going to count you to 28, okay? So 4 Englishes. Under that, you see 4 math courses. The state of Kentucky requires that every student have Algebra 1, Geometry, and a junior math, and then a senior math. So every year your student is enrolled, they will also take a math class. So 4 English, 4 math, we're at 8. Under that is science. Every student is required to have integrated, that's earth-based science, biology, chemistry, and then Marshall County Schools requires students have a 4th science elective. In the course guide, when it describes all the different departments, you can see the courses that count as the science elective. There's lots of different topics. We try to find something that your student is interested in. Human body systems, biomed, anatomy, ecology, engineering, forensics are all examples of a course your student can take to count as that 4th science elective. You don't have to wait until senior year, the 4th year, to do that. You could choose a year to double up. Like maybe junior year you want to take chemistry and you want to take anatomy. So you can do that. So that is science. 4 times 3 is 12. We're at 12 of the 28. Social studies is next. You have to have world history, civics, U.S. history, and a 4th social studies elective. Again, we have a variety of things to choose from. We hope that there is something for everybody on here. Macroeconomics, AP Macro. There's AP Psychology, History of Kentucky, Post-War America, Sports History. Again, your student can choose to take that any year on top of the social studies for that year. They do not have to wait until they're a senior to take it that year, but they can. So that is your 4 core classes: English, Math, Science, Social Studies, times 4 is 16. So you're at 16 of the 28. The next course that you have to graduate is a fine arts course. The state of Kentucky requires that everyone have a performing fine arts. It can be a music course, a drama course, an art course, and there are several options listed there for you in your packet in the course guide. And then health and PE. You'll take that as a freshman. You've heard them talk about taking English, Math, Science, Social Studies, health and PE in that seminar. The seminar is going to go into the next category as an elective. So we are sitting at 18 with the 4 cores, fine arts, health and PE, and you'll see there are 10 elective spaces. You have to have 10 electives. You're going to get the opportunity to take 4 additional courses because you're going to be here for 4 years. You're going to graduate with 32. Unless you fail something, we do build in room there for you to be able to make that up. But you'll have to have 10 electives. So the 4 core, fine arts, health and PE, plus the 10 electives, that's where your 28 credits comes from, okay? The schedule planning worksheet is just so that you can be able to see those grad requirements and be able to map that out. Also in your folder, there's a yellow paper. If you have older students that have already been at the high school, you may be familiar with what a transcript looks like. If this is your first time, we're going to go over what a transcript is and what you're really looking at. So this is a transcript from a student at our school that we have blocked out the information so that you can't see any personal information, but this is a real transcript. So let's take a look at it so that I can show you what you're looking at, because every single semester when your student finishes a course, these grades are posting to their official transcript. Your official transcript is sent for anything that the student applies for: scholarships, internships, employers sometimes want to see these. So there's lots of good information on here. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the left-hand side under GPA. So take a look at that for me. Under student information, you will see GPA summary. Under GPA summary, you can see a weighted and an unweighted GPA. I alluded to the fact that AP and dual credit were weighted, which means your GPA could go over 4.0. So you're able to see the unweighted and the weighted GPA there for that student. This student has a different weighted GPA than they do an unweighted GPA, which means that this student has taken a dual credit course. You can see that at the very, very bottom, 241 Math 109. So I'm just going to go through some things and point these out so that it's not foreign to you when your student gets their first transcript. So remember, I said that regular classes, all A's, will earn you a 4.0. We've talked about the weighted courses being out of a 5.0 grading scale. Keys money, several of my friends here have talked about Keys money tonight, and they've talked about how important it is and how you can earn money each semester to use towards college. And of course, internships, we talked about that. Mr. Harper did. And they use a weighted GPA. So we will submit weighted GPAs. Some colleges use weighted, some use unweighted for scholarships. Right now, WKU and UK are unweighted, but Murray, WKCTC, and U of L ask for a weighted GPA. I'm in charge of several of the summer programs that are popular for students between school years that have application processes. One of them is Governor Scholar Program, GSP, you may have heard it called. GSP wants me to only submit an unweighted GPA. So we will be using the unweighted and weighted based on whichever organization is asking for it and what they look for. Under the GPA, you'll see class rank. Class rank is where they take the GPA and the number of people in your graduating class, and they rank you. You get a number and you get a percentile. That's also very important junior and senior year when it comes down to admissions and scholarships. On the right-hand side, the very last box in that column is credit summary. It details the credits attempted and the credits earned. This student's attempted credits and earned credits match, which means the student has not failed anything. So if you ever get a transcript and you missed the F, if your student failed something, then you will see that the number does not match for attempted and earned. So in the left-hand column, you can see the freshman year, the sophomore year, the junior year, and the senior year. That's the courses that are taken each school year, the grade in each of the courses, and the credits earned. So each school year gets a GPA. At the end of your student's junior year, the cumulative GPA is what every college, university, scholarship agency, that's what they see. Because when you're a senior and you start applying to all these things, they all have different due dates. And the senior year courses aren't complete at that time. So the cumulative GPA, the freshman, sophomore, and junior year combined, is what you'll use the entire senior year. And that's very important for me to tell you that, because a lot of times seniors are like, oh my goodness, Miss Burnham, I have English and math and the rest electives. I'm really going to raise my GPA. Yes, you are, for that senior year that no one's going to see in that cumulative GPA. So we really stress to them and really preach to them that it matters, freshman, sophomore, and junior year. The other thing I want to say is high school is a little different than middle school in the sense that if you fail a graduation requirement, you fail it and you have to make it up. It's not like middle school where we pass you along. You have to have so many credits at the end of each school year. So freshman year, when it's all said and done, you have to have 6 credits to be a sophomore. If you have 5, you're going to be a retained freshman. So the people you entered high school with are going to go on to that sophomore year, and you will not. You will retake the course or take it in summer school. So I wanted to make sure you guys understood that too. I saw a lot of your kids on the tour today. It's always exciting this time of year to see the new faces, and they're nervous and they're excited. And I just want you to know that we're so happy to have them, and we have such great opportunities. And if you have any questions, we don't want you to leave here without them answered. And please reach out at any time during the year. Ms. Ms. Jackson.
Okay, I want everybody to take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Because I'm sitting here and I've worked alongside Miss Burnham now. This is year 16 we've been together, and I'm overwhelmed. And I have a senior and a freshman this year. So just take a deep breath for a minute. Through the tours today, some of the students came by my office, and one of the seniors said, Miss Jackson, what advice do you have to these 8th graders? And I just said, just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Yes, we're bigger. We're going to help you find where you're going. So I'm looking out and I'm recognizing parents' faces because maybe I went to high school with you or one of my brothers did, or I'm seeing people that I know through different things. And some of you already have a student who's gone through here. And some of you, this is your first one to go to high school. So just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Promise. But again, now though, I have to talk about a not fun part. Okay, I get to really talk to you about the no pass, no drive. So go back to the white sheet on the schedule planning worksheet. On the right-hand side is where, we've had our students, they write out that possible schedule, okay? Then we talk about if they've had the ACT, they can maybe write down those scores. We've got the ACT benchmarks listed over there. You've heard a lot of things talked about tonight, and we talk about benchmarks and CTE, and this is lingo that we use on a daily basis, and so it's new to you guys. So please don't feel like, what are they talking about? How do I not know this? It's okay, I promise. Then we talk about from the student handbook, Ms. Solomon alluded to earlier, if you have 6 unexcused absences, what is that going to do? It's real short and sweet and compact right there for you. We talk about the attendance. The attendance is it kind of leads into what I'm getting ready to talk about with no pass, no drive. So part of the thing with driving is it's a big responsibility. I have an 18-and-a-half-year-old who drives, and it still terrifies me. And then I have been in the vehicle behind my 18-and-a-half-year-old and my 15-year-old, and I'm thinking 2/3 of my entire world is right in front of me. And it's a very scary feeling. So we want them to be safe on the road. So part of that means they have to be responsible. Well, part of being responsible is you got to come to school. Another part is when you're at school, you need to be doing your work. So when we talk about the no pass, no drive, this is the state of Kentucky. This is not Marshall County High School. This is state law. So the state requires that you have fewer than 9 unexcused absences in a semester. So that exceeds the 6 unexcused absences, what we have. And again, we're looking at a semester. So so let's say you turn 16 in November, all right, and you want to go get your permit. There's a form that is in the front office. It is not in the counselor's offices. It is not in the principal's offices. It is in the front office. And Miss Culp and Miss Joseph, they will look and see. They know exactly what to look for. They're going to look at the semester before. So let me back up. Let me switch it. You turn 16 in January. This will be easier. All right, you're going to turn 16 in January. And so you turn 16 in January, so what they will do is they will look at your attendance for the first semester of school. If you have 9 or more unexcused absences, you will not be allowed to go get your permit. That's above your 6 parent authorized absences. At that point, you've missed 15 days of school. That's 3 weeks of class. Okay? So they're going to look at that. Well, maybe your attendance is okay, but your grades are not. The state requires that you be passing 2/3 of your classes. Okay, well, right now, I didn't do the math on this, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, so you guys next year are technically going to have 7 classes at a time in the semester. You're going to have your English and math, your science, your social studies, your health and PE, your seminar, and then your elective for that semester. So those electives are going to be from August to Christmas, and then January till the end of the year, okay? So you've got 7 classes. You have to be passing 5 of the 6, 5 of the 7. Come on, y'all. Help me out. 5. 67. But Dr. Wilson, I need a hard number. It's going to be 5 of 7. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping me. She's going to have a great schedule next year. I'm going to make sure of it. Okay. So you've got to be passing 5 of your 7 classes at Christmas. Okay? So if you are not passing 5 of 7 at Christmas, I'm very sorry, your child will not be allowed to get their permit. Well, Ms. Jackson, when can we get our permit? You can go in the summer. But again, you have to be passing 5 of your 8 classes in the spring semester. Or 5 of your 7, I'm sorry. And again, they will look at the spring semester for your attendance. So, okay, well, I've got my permit. I was able to get my permit, and then your grades drop or your attendance drops. You might get your permit in April because, again, when did they look at your stuff? From the fall semester. So what's going to happen in June when we run the report for the state again? I'm very sorry, the state's going to take your permit. So then you have to wait until January before you can go back and get your permit. So when you should then be getting your license 6 months later is when you can go back then and get your permit. So it will put you 6 months behind in getting to drive. Okay? So be at school. Do your work. Be responsible. Okay? All right. So that's the not fun part. Now we're going to talk about the honor graduate policy. It's on the teal color paper. It was on the front of the one side. So several years ago, we took out valedictorian, salutatorian. And Marshall County High School adopted the summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and the cum laude distinctions. So we are looking at that overall grade point average. The students, you will see them at graduation, they will have a cord. You either get 3 cords, 2 cords, or 1 cord based on your distinction, okay? So we have decided to tighten the reins on what qualifies as an honor graduate for Marshall County High School. So we'll just go through it starting at the top. Students must earn 12 credits at the advanced placement, dual credit, or honors level, 2 of which must be earned during the student's senior year. So we are looking for them to have a more rigorous schedule. So honors, AP, dual credit. 12 credits of those. The courses must come from the 15 core graduation requirements. So the 4 English classes, the 4 math classes, 3 of the 4 science classes, 3 of the 4 social studies classes, and quite possibly their fine arts class. Okay, well, Ms. Jackson, why only 3 of the 4 on social studies and science? Because if you'll notice, most of our social studies and science electives, they're not listed as honors. Most of your science electives are not. A lot of your social studies electives, you would be taking an AP social studies class. So we're going to give you those, okay? Students must meet or exceed at least 1 college readiness benchmark score on the ACT or Coyote exam, or pass an EOP or industry certification. Okay, you've heard us talk about the ACT. Okay, most of us in this room, parents, you took the ACT. If you've been to college, you took the ACT. Okay, well, what's Coyote? Coyote is another way for us to see if a student is college ready. It is provided by the state of Kentucky. I'm actually testing seniors this week. They're going to take the Coyote test with me, and they can meet benchmark on the Coyote. So if they haven't met ACT benchmark, we give them another opportunity to meet a benchmark. So that makes them college ready. We also look for students to be career ready, okay? So if they might not necessarily meet the college readiness, but they might meet the career readiness. So we're looking at EOP, which is an end of program exam. So this is where students will sit down with Miss Boone, the senior counselor, and they've had at least two classes in a pathway, and they will take an exam. They might pass it after taking 2 classes. They might need all 4 classes before they can pass that exam, and that's okay. So we're looking for they pass that, or they earn an industry certificate, and that is where they are testing on the programs that they have been working, but it's not a sit-down type of test necessarily. Some of them are doing skills, but they are showing readiness in that way. So we are looking at college readiness or the career readiness. The last thing on here, which is what most of us already know for an honor graduate, is to have a 3.5 minimum GPA, okay? Then it talks about the honor grad distinction is cumulative GPA of 4.0 or higher, so that is, we look at your weighted GPA for this. Summa cum laude is 4.0 or higher. 375 to 399 is magna, and 3.5 to 3.74 is the cum laude, okay? So now what I want you to do is I would like for you to look at this sample transcript that you have, because you can see that this student has a 3.61 GPA. Weighted. Unweighted is a 3.57. That's a check mark on the list. This student has that 3.5 GPA or higher. But I want you to go through and I want you to count the honors classes. And the honors classes will have an H in parentheses. Freshman year, Honors Algebra 1, Honors English, Honors Integrated Science, and Honors World History. There's 4. Sophomore year, Honors Civics, Honors English, Honors Geometry. So just 3. We're at 7. We need 12. Junior year, no honors classes. Senior year, got an A in that college algebra class, and then on the right-hand side, they're in English 101. So they've met that senior year of having to have 2. This student would not be graduating as an honor grad. So this goes into full effect with the class of 2028. Okay, we want to see more rigor. We want to see our students push themselves. We want to see them give us their best. Now, that's not saying that every single class has to be honors. Students even have the opportunity, if you decide freshman year, we're just going to go the traditional route, we're not going to do honors. They still have an opportunity to be an honors graduate. But at the same time, parents, you know your students. Kind of like Miss Burnham said, we don't just want them jumping on the AP bandwagon. How is the AP class going to benefit them? Same thing with the honors classes. Okay? Junior year, this was a tougher year for this student. A's and B's until suddenly there's a C in English. Okay? Know your student. What are they able to do? You know how far you can push them. You're the parents. I know with my 2, I know how I can push my 2 sons. I know what buttons to push, and I know when to back off. I think we all do. Sometimes we might push too far. We're parents. That's what we do, right? We're here to be parents, not their best friends right now. But that's okay. So keep in mind, no pass, no drive. It's kind of like whenever we bought our house, and we were signing the paperwork, and the real estate, the attorney said, no pay, no stay. So if you don't pay for your house, you don't make your house payments, you don't get to stay in your house. And that kind of stuck with me, no pay, no stay. So when it comes to the driving, if you don't come to school, you don't get your grades, you don't get to drive. Okay? So keep that in the back of your mind. When we talk about the honor graduate policy, 12 of the 15. Okay? It's not saying every single class. You might, sophomore year, you might want to drop down and take something that's regular. That's okay. You still have the opportunity to get your 12 in. Okay? And remember, take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath.
We have thrown a lot of information out to you tonight. I realize that. In the back, we are recording this whole session. So if you have someone that you know couldn't come tonight, or another parent wants to see what was done tonight, or you just want to go back and you're like, what did they say about dual credit? What did they say about freshman focus? You can go back. It'll be a link to YouTube. We'll send that out to the middle schools. They're going to send that out to Send It. And we also have a school Facebook page that I'll post that on. It's Marshall County Schools, established 1974, if you want to follow us on Facebook. But we'll have that out here in the next 24 hours that you can go back and listen to all of this and fast forward and rewind as many times as you wish. But again, thank you for braving the weather. It says a lot that you all are here tonight to hear all of this information. We will be around after this evening on the floor if you want to approach any of us for questions. We'll be glad to stick around as long as you all need us. And we look forward to seeing your child on Thursday to sit down with them individually to work on their schedule for their freshman year. Thanks again for coming.